Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Practice. Today, we have a truly inspiring guest, Beatriz Fritschler, also known as Coach Bea. Coach Bea is dedicated to helping women empower their energy, cognition, and resilience. Her mission is pretty clear: to help you install a new operating system that not only protects your energy, but also expands your capacity, allowing you to lead your life with both strength and ease. Coach Bea, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here with you, Nicholas.
Pleasure's mine. Alrighty, so we're gonna dive right into this personal journey, my favorite. So, Beatrice, your story of rebuilding your life after a ruptured brain aneurysm is incredibly powerful. How did that experience fundamentally shift your perspective on wellness and leadership for high-achieving women?
Well, I experienced a brain aneurysm rupture, as you mentioned, about 8 years ago. That was the peak of the health challenges that I was experiencing. I am an immigrant. I came to the United States at age 19, and I just buckled down, learned English, worked by day, went to school by night, and did everything I could to build a life and a career. But in that process, I neglected my body. And that combined with some genetics, heart disease and high blood pressure runs in my family, made made things not very pleasant for me. So I was struggling with obesity, unregulated high blood pressure, which is one of the causes of aneurysms, and a bunch of other health challenges. So the aneurysm led to me being in the ICU for 20 days and having two brain surgeries. Thankfully, I was able to come out alive. Aneurysms are over 50% lethal, and I was discharged from the hospital cognitively and physically intact, which means I didn't have any deficit. That's an absolute miracle. So it forced me to rethink the way I was treating my body. I realized that I couldn't continue pushing my body and handling stress the way I was. And I started making small changes that over time led to me releasing those 55 pounds, regulating my blood pressure. I'm actually still taking medication. Last week I turned 50
Yeah.
and I just got my medication reduced. So when I was 28, I used to take 25 milligrams of the medication I use. I use an Alapril. Now I take 2.5 milligrams. So I haven't been able to 100% overcome my genetics, but I have been able to improve my health. And when you find something amazing, I found levels of energy and joy I never thought possible. That's why my book is called Embody Joy. When you find something amazing, you want to share it with the world. And I found a lot of women, high achieving women, struggling with the same challenges I did. And that's how my community, Be Healthier, was born, from a desire of helping others achieve their best health without having to go through a life threatening crisis.
So it was 8 years ago, right? And
Mhm.
then, so when was the turning point that you realized that it was about, taking care of yourself, doing what's right? Was it right after X amount
As
of
soon
years
as I left
after?
the hospital,
As soon as you left. Okay.
when I understood what my body had taken me through and how unusual my outcome was, I decided to thank my body for it. The body that I had underestimated, that I had not cared for, I decided to show my body gratitude. So it was a way of me saying thanks to taking me through that journey and coming out intact.
It is truly, like you said, incredible how you left the hospital with all your cognitive, everything like that. Because I've seen enough in my career. I won't get onto it here, but absolutely. That's why when I saw your story, I'm like, she's somebody we got to speak to. We have to get her on the show.
I wasn't going to take my second chance at life and my opportunity to build a better life and a better body for granted.
Absolutely. So you mentioned, recovery wasn't just about motivation, but redesigning your biology, decisions, energy systems, and identity, right? Can you elaborate on these elements, like, and how they're interconnected and why addressing them holistically is crucial?
Well, I started with movement. The first thing I did, especially after being in a bed for 20 days, was to um, reconnect with movement. And I committed to moving every day, and not necessarily in the form of formal exercise. The movement could be dancing in my living room, going for a walk, whatever it was, but I was going to proactively move every single day. After that, I decided to connect with food. And I call this process my journey embodiment, because I started, yes, reading and educating myself about health and wellness, but also I started paying attention to my body and seeing how my body reacted to different things. So when I started embracing movement for its own sake, I started to feel amazing. The most immediate things I felt were the mental health benefits. I found myself being in a very good mood all of a sudden. Then, I got in touch with what I call conscious eating, and that's the terminology we use in our community. And I started keeping a journal, not to track macros or calories, but to track how I felt after every meal. So if I eat this, an hour later, 2 hours later, I feel like this. And I started eating more the foods that were making me feel good and energetic. And the foods that I enjoy very much, but that were not like fried chicken, the foods that I enjoy very much, but that were not giving me the level of energy, I'll still have them, but every once in a while. And then, I started introducing portion control. I got to understand macro tracking, and also sleep, honoring my sleep and having a regular sleep schedule, managing my levels of stress, which is still a struggle. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, especially for high achieving women. It's really
Yeah.
hard for us to manage our stress levels. And little by little, I saw how that was changing everything for me. It took me about 18 months um, to lose the weight and to see the true changes in my health markers and in my body that I experienced. In my mid 40s, I was healthier and stronger than I was in my 20s.
Yeah. So like the macros, the sleep. Do you incorporate any of the intermittent fasting? Is that part of what you believe in or no?
Some of the members of my community do. I, foster autonomy in our members. I personally don't, but I do have a very, I have breakfast at 7:30, and I have my last meal of the day around 7 p.m. So I do have a gap in eating between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m.
So it is it's 12 hours like that. I know if
Yeah,
there's something
I
like
do have a 12-hour break, but I wouldn't call it necessarily intermittent fasting. But I do encourage, and this is what I practice, having most of your calories earlier in the day. So, breakfast like a queen,
Mhm.
I don't know, lunch like a princess, and dinner like, what they say, like a pauper.
Something
So
like that. Yeah.
usually like a
Yeah.
nice breakfast with a lot of protein, important for middle-aged women. My biggest meal is actually lunch.
Lunch. Okay.
And then for dinner, I actually, before our call today, I pre-started a salad. For dinner, I have a salad with some source of protein.
So you teaching me. I'm very classic lunch salad every day for lunch. Like when I come to work. So I'm gonna switch it up now. I think I'm gonna switch it up and bring that protein dinner in, and then maybe
Yeah,
hit the salad at night.
and to be honest, this is what I used to do back home. I'm Dominican. We have the big meal at lunch.
Hmm.
I changed it when I came to the United States, that the practice here was having the big meal at dinner. But my body likes it. My body likes getting most of the calories earlier in the day, especially if you're trying to go to bed early. It is better not to have a heavy dinner. And I try to be in bed at least by 9 p.m.
Oh, I wish that was possible. With the two little ones, it's not happening over here. All right, so we're gonna move on. So, Be Healthier's mission is to help high achieving women build internal architecture strong enough to match the magnitude of their lives. What are some common misconceptions about wellness that you aim to correct with this approach?
One of the first things is that you need to overhaul your whole life in order to have a healthy lifestyle. Through the methodology we use, behavioral compounding, we introduce small changes that progressively compound over time. Like I told you what my journey was.
Yeah.
First, just moving every day.
Yep.
I went from walking 10 minutes a day to running two New York City marathons, right? Um, but that didn't happen overnight. So it's really about injecting small behaviors that are manageable and fit into your busy life that you can do consistently, including on those days when life gets hard, because that's
Hmm.
the most important thing. And if you do them over time, like I thought I was going to be able to get rid of the blood pressure medication when I lost the weight. That didn't happen. It is 8 years later that last year I had my first reduction, one of my first reductions on the dosage. I was doing 2 years or 3 years ago, 10 milligrams. Last year we went down to 5, and now we are going to 2.5, right?
At 2.5. That's great.
So I keep reducing, not necessarily in my timeline, because I have been consistent with my self care. So if we stick with it, it is really about sustainable leadership. Women are dropping out of the workforce at twice the rate as men because of stress and burnout. And we are developing higher rates of cardiovascular disease. And with cardiovascular disease running in my family, I'm not dropping the ball in my self-care.
No, definitely not. Consistency is key. It's something
Mhm.
I preach all the time.
And consistency, that's another misconception, does not mean perfection. You know, I had my birthday last week. There was a lot of different kinds of cake. Because not a birthday without cake is not a birthday. Come on.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
there's gonna be days that you're gonna give yourself permission to. I also went to bed a little later last week because there were surprise parties. So you're gonna have weeks that you're not gonna do the sleep perfect, that you're not gonna do the exercise perfect, that you're not gonna do the nutrition perfect. But then you return to your habits. It's what you do most of the time that matters.
Yeah. I mean,
Consistency is what you do most of the time.
I'm guilty this morning. My background. I have the kids at home and everything, so it's always go, go, go. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I go to the gym. I come home. That's the only time that I could get in there. This morning, I was really tired. Didn't even know I hit my alarms naturally, and I woke up and it was 5:30. So I missed the gym this morning. But there's zero chance I'm not getting there tomorrow, and I might even run when I get home tonight. So it's that consistency, like you said. It's not perfection. It's just knowing that you got to get it done consistently
Yeah.
enough, right?
And something is better than nothing. If you cannot do a 1 hour workout, but you can do a 10-minute walk, do the 10-minute walk. Or if you can do two 10-minute walks split in your day, do that. Something is better than nothing. And that's why we teach. We make it really accessible because high achieving women are extremely overwhelmed. They have too much on their heads. And they need wellness that is practical and digestible.
I like that. I like that. Nice. So now, can you explain, the core principles of behavioral compounding and how it
Mhm.
differs from conventional approaches like motivation or habit stacking?
Well, the truth is that we are all subject to the law of compounding. The only thing I'm doing is highlighting it and having an intentional approach about it. Anything that we do most of the time, it is what's gonna dictate our life. So if you smoke every day, that's gonna lead to lung cancer, right? If you eat dessert every day, that could be like a lot of sugar every day, that could lead to prediabetes. So we are all subject to the law of compounding, whether we do it consciously or unconsciously. So I'm highlighting how to do it consciously and how to leverage the maximizing power of consistent behavior to improve your health so that you can have sustainable energy and sustainable well-being. What is different from motivation is that by making it small, consistent, you won't need motivation. Like, do you need motivation to brush your teeth in the morning?
No, no. My 4 year
No,
old does, but not me.
okay, so now you're working with your little ones. You need to train them, you need to teach them little by little. You're practicing behavioral compounding with them. Eventually, they're going to be able to get up in the morning and brush their teeth every day, and they don't even have to think about it. That's exactly what we're doing. Whether it is with movement, food prepping, nutrition, creating a bedtime routine. And you use your bedtime routine with the little ones. I don't
Oh, yeah.
understand why we use them with little ones and we
Mhm.
forget to do them with ourselves. So that's how it's different, because it's small and progressive enough that becomes embedded into your life, and it is hard to skip. You can do it whether you feel like it or not. Habit stacking could be a component of behavioral compounding. You could pair your action with something else you're doing. Like one thing that I have been doing is if I have a long meeting and I'm working from home,
Yeah.
I put my walking pad
Nice.
and just, participate in the meeting and walk. So it's a way of, it forces me to actually pay more attention to the meeting because I cannot be doing other emails and being distracted on the Zoom meeting if I'm walking. So I'm paying more attention to the meeting and I'm getting my steps in.
Yeah. Back in my hospital days, we had those tables that, they went up and down, and I would stand all the time. Just, I would do legs that day, and I would stand for 8 hours and scan. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but I'm doing something. I'm standing, right?
It makes a huge
Yeah.
difference. They say sitting is the new smoking. So yeah, it is about not it's about being systematic and not relying on motivation. Because if you do things when you feel like it, most of the time I don't feel like working out in the morning. But I have created a morning routine. It's kind of almost mechanical. I get up, have my water, my coffee, work out, shower, have breakfast, go.
Yep. I got the same
Every
thing.
single day. I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. I just have to let the dog out in between there. That's the one. But yeah, it's
Yes.
all right. So let's see. We'll go with, how do you help women identify and address, the specific like energy drains in their lives, and what role does that personalized coaching play in this process?
We conduct a wellness assessment focusing on our areas of focus. So we evaluate where they are. First, we work on mindset, see where they are mentally. Are they ready for change?
Hmm.
Because that's one of the most important things. We are not having a lot of the health challenges that we're having due to lack of information. We are having a lot of the challenges that we're having because we haven't honed our mindset in the right way to take the necessary steps. So we work on mindset. We evaluate our relationship with food, our relationship with movement. Um, Also, as I spoke about, rest and relaxation are really important. You can eat perfectly and you can exercise every day, but if you don't get enough rest and you don't manage your stress levels, especially mature women that are dealing with perimenopause and menopause and those cortisol levels,
Yeah.
um, you won't get the results you want from your health if you don't get enough rest. And then another thing that we also evaluate is relationships. It is very important to have a strong network of support in order to have the care, mental health, and the companionship that sometimes is needed to hold you accountable. So we do a wellness assessment, and then we, based on that and the outcomes on that assessment, we create a customized plan. And we start very, very small. We look at the area that's the most challenging and we focus on one activity. We embed that activity for at least 30 days, and then we build upon it.
So that first actionable step could vary based on your wellness, right? Like assessment
Yeah.
that you do.
Yeah, it depends on the person. For example, I gotten to the point with movement, that's not a challenge for me. But even until this day, I'm struggling with the rest and relaxation. I mean, I sleep okay, but I have a hard time sometimes not putting too much on my calendar and my activities,
Yeah,
overachiever.
I get it. I get it. I understand. I'm right there with you. So you emphasize community as like a force multiplier. How
Yes.
does the Be Healthier community provide a performance ecosystem rather than just a support group? And what benefits do the members experience from that?
Well, the Be Healthier community is a curated group of high achieving women. As I mentioned earlier, we work with women that are committed to their well being. And it's kind of like the mastermind effect. By coming together, these women, not only are they being held accountable and supported by the community, but also they learn from one another and elevate one another. And these are women that have very similar professional challenges. So it goes beyond just, talking about bodily health. It goes about talking about career and how we can create systems to continue succeeding professionally and that also respect and honor our health. For example, one of our biggest topics of conversation is a strategic delegation. leveraging our support teams so that they can do the tasks, other tasks, and we can focus on the things that only we can do, which is hard because sometimes we want to do it all. We want to do everything.
I, listen, it was always my answer. With somewhere you could improve. It's sometimes I like to take on too much because I'm a perfectionist and I want it done the way that I can. But delegating is so crucial for success. It really is.
And the truth is, I'm experiencing this right now. I delegated a task last Thursday, a report to one of my staff. She
Hmm.
sent it to me today, and I was like, whoa,
Hmm.
this is so good.
Oh, there you go.
So
Okay.
because she cared about the issue, it's actually it's more like a position paper on an idea, a pitch that we're gonna do from my day job in municipal government. She cares about the issue, and she has more time than me to dedicate to the research necessary to put the paper together. So she did it, and she killed it. So I'm giving her meaningful work that is important to her and freeing my time.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's a win-win right there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, Coach B, the vision. That's what we're going to talk about, the future, right? What's the vision of a world where high achieving women no longer have to sacrifice their health, no longer sacrifice their identity or the joy for success? I want to know where do you see the role of Be Healthier playing in achieving that vision?
Well, my notes so secret agenda is to create generational health. We are hustling and working hard to create generational wealth. A lot of the women in my community are the first ones to go to college, the first one to be in an executive role, the first ones to build a business. And they're doing this to build something tangible for their families, to build a legacy. But building a legacy that ignores our needs is only propagating unhealthy practices. So my goal is to not only focus on building generational wealth, but to build generational health and to show that both can coexist, that you can build a successful career, life, and business, and have a healthy body and self as an example of wellness. Like when I went on my journey, my mom lost 30 pounds. I went on my journey. My husband started taking better care of himself, and he actually doesn't really drink anymore. When I went on my journey, some other members of my office started embracing the concept of walking meetings.
Yeah.
So
Right.
when the most selfless thing we can do is visibly and thoughtfully taking care of our health, because other people will model that behavior and we will build healthier workspaces, healthier families, and healthier communities.
Yeah. Oh, trying to build what you just said, trying to emulate that in my family. My wife's the same way as me with the eating. We support each other. My kids, my son, I put on like a little workout, like an ab routine. They bring out the mats. They're trying to do it, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring it to the
Listen,
family.
and you know this as a parent. I'm an auntie. I'm not a mom, but kids don't do what you say. Kids do what you do. For example, I'm an auntie. My niece loves water, and she wants to learn how to swim. Her mother doesn't know how to swim, but she knows that Tia Tis, that's my name, Tia
Hmm.
Tis, knows how to swim. So she wants to be like Tia Tis, and she wants to swim.
Yep, that's great. Yeah, absolutely. So where I want to go here is I love success stories, right? That's my favorite thing to hear about. So what are some of the most exciting transformations you've witnessed in women who have adopted the Be Healthier methodology?
Well, let me think of a specific examples. Well, we have a member, Alicia. She came to our community after doing wellness and weight loss programs in the past. And her biggest challenge was that she will lose weight and then hit a plateau and then give up and return back to her old behaviors. So Alicia the program embraced. She became an advocate of conscious eating and started integrating our practices. And her energy came back. She was able to integrate movement, which she was finding very difficult. And she lost 25 pounds, and she was feeling great. But her goal was to lose 35 pounds. So when she got to that point and she said, oh, well, I'm not meeting my ideal, she started to self-sabotage, and, she was about to get back into her old practices. But with the support of community, she was able to refrain and see what she had done so far as a success and focus on sustainable wellness instead of focusing on the perfect weight. And let me tell you, Alicia has maintained her 25 pounds for 2 years now.
Nice. Nice. That's great.
Yeah, we have other members like Fran, who has a very sedentary job. She's in the food industry, and her back was arched just from, crouching on top of the computer. She was trying to do everything at the same time at the beginning. We pulled it back, we introduced behavioral compounding, and we asked her to focus on the thing that came easier, or was her a priority for her. So she embraced movement first, and she has become a Pilates junkie. She loves Pilates. And if you see her now, she has the best posture on the planet. She walks straight and open. She does Pilates 3 times a week. And even though she has some weight to lose, she hasn't lost all the weight that she wants to lose, but she is more energetic. She feels better. She improved her posture. She has less back pain, and she's actually asthmatic, and even her asthma symptoms have diminished just by, knowing which foods to eat to decrease inflammation and exercising regularly. And we have Michelle, who's a grandma.
Wow.
And Michelle did not have a weight loss goal. She actually was very happy with her weight, but she had a strength goal.
Gotcha.
She has multiple grandchildren, and she wants to be the strong nana. And Michelle shared with us recently that she had her physical and she had her bone density scan, and that she had the best physical she had had in years,
Nice.
just by consistently exercising, lifting weights, and prioritizing her well-being and sleep. Her sleep routine is really important to her.
Nice.
So these women are showing up for themselves and are able to accomplish things that they may not have thought possible. Like Alicia didn't think she could sustain weight loss, for example, because they are doing this in a systematic way, and they're leveraging the support of community that normalizes a lot of the challenges we have. Not only normalizes the good behaviors, but normalizes having a bad day at the office and overeating at night and picking it back up the next day, because it happens to all of us.
100%. It's part of the world, right? The stress, everything that happens. So having that, support system, getting into the routine, establishing that practice, like you waking up in the morning. So it's it all. And then 2 years, right? You said she sustained the
2
25
years
pounds.
she sustained. So she didn't get the perfect number, but she sustained what she accomplished.
Sustained for 2 years that much. That's a win to me. And I'm sure she's consistently staying at it, and she's going to sustain it for the future. So, and maybe she gets there. Maybe she will.
Yeah.
If she's watching.
Yeah, but
You're going to get there. I got faith in you.
Yeah.
All right. So I appreciate your time very, very much. The last thing I like to do is give you the platform. Any final messages? Let them know where they can find more information about you, the website, anything you want to say. This is your time. So the floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much. I would love to invite everyone to visit our website, behealthier.com, BEA, like Coach Bea Healthier, play on words.com. And there you can see our programs. We are right now presenting programs around behavior and GLP-1. There's a lot of people that are on GLP-1 medications but want to come off them and don't want to lose the results that they build by taking the medication. About 50% of those that take GLP-1 medications stop taking them in about 12 months. So we want to support the women that have started their journey with medication to sustain their weight loss and actually build healthy habits that not only will allow them to manage their weight, but also build stronger, healthier bodies.
Right.
So
You
that's
heard
our
it.
GLP-1 off-ramp program.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Everybody, Coach Bea, thank you so much again. And as I always end it, you have a great night, okay?
Thank you so much.